Jeff Norton on the Paranormal State Radio Network.
That is right. You are listening to the Midnight Ocean Radio Show and Podcast. I am your host, Jeff Norton, and we have very special guest, Debbie Viguié, joining us tonight. And as we roll into the last 30 minutes, the last segment of the show, I do apologize for those that are out there on YouTube. But you know what you're getting into when you signed up for YouTube and my show. No, we're getting better. The system did actually crash, which is weird. It's never done that before. I will tell you this: that we have we do have a new piece of equipment that should be here tomorrow. That should eliminate the sound issues that you guys are complaining about. But you can always join us on the web at www.themidnightocean.com and listen to us on all the various radio apps that we have out there. And if you want to get this in high fidelity, the only added benefit that you actually get from YouTube is that you get to see me and my stupid expressions, which I know, Debbie, you don't get to see. Do you have the YouTube up and running?
No, I don't.
Okay, so good. Because if you did, you would have been out of here 2 hours ago. It was obvious that you did not have. It was obvious. I mean, it's a dead giveaway. It's a dead giveaway. But no, right before we went off the break, and I think you're right. A lot of people. I mean, what do you do? I mean, let me back up and try to put together a complete sentence here. What is your recommendation if someone suspects demonic possession or whatever? Should they go to their church or should they seek out people? Because you're absolutely. I mean, I've been in churches where it's fire, brimstone, you're going to hell, and if you don't do what we tell you to do, you're going to go to hell, or go say 13 Hail Marys and do the act of contrition, and that's going to make it better. But it sounds like that ain't going to work for this. You have to seek a different type of remedy. And I mean, is your recommendation first talk with your pastor or whatever, or your religious, or is it to seek out someone like you or someone that does what you do? And how would we seek out someone like you? Number one, I can't Google I wouldn't know if I'm meeting a crackpot or someone who's very knowledgeable.
The first thing I would actually say people should do is talk to a few friends or family that they trust to see if anyone else has had experience. Think your pastor or priest is open to the conversation, by all means talk to them. If you're lucky enough to be in one of the areas of the country that actually has a priest who's an exorcist, that's awesome. Fortunately, they only had about 10 years ago, there was only 5 Catholic priests who could do exorcism in this country, and that number is now up to 50. So, which is awesome. Because, it's great that there are more of them out there. Yeah. It's great that awareness is rising.
Yeah. But it's bad that we need more.
There's a need for so many.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So, but it is good that awareness is on the rise, at least in the Catholic Church. If your Protestant pastor seems like he's open to the conversation, or somebody can recommend a Protestant pastor who they think would be open to it, that is fantastic.
Yeah.
And, you can, even if you're uncomfortable talking to them, you can ask some very general questions to kind of broach the subject, like what is their opinion of evil, and have they ever had any supernatural experiences, You can feel them out to see what their beliefs are before you necessarily reveal what's happening with you.
Yeah, see, I typically lead off with, what are your feelings about pea soup and and stuff. Or that's bad.
Should people be vomiting it?
Yeah, people vomiting. That movie said it for me. I remember. I can tell you too. I mean, I've got a pretty good memory. We were living with my uncle as my father was just being deployed out in Michigan. We were living with my uncle in Lansing, and they're a little bit more liberal than we were. being a strong military family, we were a little bit more conservative. And I remember sneaking away and watching The Exorcism for the first time, and that did it for me. I mean, I was like, whoa, this is scary stuff, and everything. But because it is a hard subject. Because the last thing you want to do, or the risk, and I think the risk is this: you got to get help. And the problem is sometimes when you go to figures of authority who you would think would help you in this, they don't help you. I mean, you hear about it all the time. I mean, just the other day I was reading on one of the news sites where a young man was killed doing an exorcism, from non-trained professionals, and he died, in the process of it. And you hear about this all the time. I mean, I hear about it. Maybe I'm just reading the wrong news, but at least once a week I think I come across the story that so and so died, or someone died during an exorcism because it was performed incorrectly, throwing water on them, electrocuting them, whatever the reason would be, suffocating them, and
oh geez,
yeah. I mean, it happens.
That's scary.
Yeah, it does. Here I am trying to get help.
And people can always read my book. I give a lot of practical advice in there for helping yourself, helping other people, which is also important. Because I mean, sometimes you're the one that's being attacked. Sometimes you're the one that has to be there to support the person that's getting attacked. And how can you help? How can you help your friend, your relative? Your significant other. Yeah. So that's important stuff. So I'm always willing to answer questions. I have an author page on Facebook and things like that. So.
And we actually have that linked if you go to the midnightocean.com and go to the guest page and stuff. There's a link to your page. And you're saying I take it the one that you're referring to that has a lot of is the Battlefield Victory book, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Yeah. Don't read Wicked. That's not going to help you.
Book.
Yeah. That's not going to.
No, Wicked will not help you.
Yeah. Wicked's not going to help you. It's a great book, but it's not going to help you.
I do. There are some exorcisms for one character in that book, and I used part of the Catholic process and some other stuff. It's very entertaining to read, but
like I said,
not exactly a how-to manual.
Yeah, exactly. I'm gonna read it, believe it or not. I'm reading the series. I'm gonna read the series. I mean, it's funny. They always say you should read what your children are reading as long, and typically it's like the Harry Potters and stuff. I just I'll just watch the movie. But I'm definitely going to read the Wicked. I am. My daughters love it. So. But
I'm glad to hear it.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, and trust me, if you think that your story is scary or unique or what, I'm pretty sure I've heard it before.
Yeah.
People you can't come up with something that probably is going to shock me too much.
Yeah.
And the important thing is to talk about it, because the more you tell people, the less fear and the less power it has over you. It's by keeping us in the dark and isolated from each other and feeling like we're alone that the demons really exercise their worst influence.
Well, that's what they want. Oh, I think we've already established that that's their goal, is to if you have not found salvation, to keep you from finding it. And if you found it, they want to keep you away from other people so that you can't be a testimony and lead them to it. So, I mean, it's twofold. So, yeah. That's a great indicator too. I think if you see people that are withdrawn and everything, that for me, I'll be looking for that too.
Yeah. And if you're wondering if you yourself are under attack, there are so many signs. People talk about seeing shadows move out of the corner of their eyes. That's a classic trick, that demons use, because it worries and agitates you and distracts you. And the more they can distract you from whatever you should be doing, the better it is for them. So you're seeing the shadows, hearing the strange noises that you don't know what they are, smelling weird smells sometimes. And a lot of times they'll pick something that's like a little bugaboo that might not bother other people, but will bother you. It's like your trigger. So it's like they'll find ways to get you off topic quickly. So I can't tell you how many times I promised God I was going to write the book about spiritual warfare, Battlefield Victory. How many times I told him, this year I'm going to write it.
Yeah.
And how many things would come up that it just wouldn't happen.
Yep.
And because part of me was reluctant anyway, I would go, oh, that's okay. And finally I'm like, all these distractions and all these other things are to keep you from doing what you're supposed to be doing, so just suck it up and do it.
Yeah.
That's kind of how it went. And, once I got on the warpath, I mean, there was no stopping me, and I got that book done and I got it out there. But it took an act of will to do it, because they certainly didn't want me writing it, and they didn't want me publishing it. I literally, I tried to get it. I tried my one agent was shopping it to publishers, and the one editor at one company was very excited about it. He loved what I had done. He loved that I was not, he loved my perspective, my opinion, the humor I used in writing. He took it to his boss, who he had to get the okay from in order to buy it, and he then emailed back my agent and said, I can't explain it. She literally started speaking gibberish to me, and I couldn't make out anything she was saying except the strong impression that her answer was no.
Wow.
And he said, I don't know what just happened. And I'm like, I do.
Yeah. Obviously, you haven't read my book.
I'm like, you didn't. I realized I only sent you the first 3 chapters. Let me send you the rest.
Yeah, let me send the rest of. It's funny that you say that. We're gonna have. I can't tell you who he is, but he is someone that you probably bumped into at Comic-Con, and everything. He's a Trekkie. He was, and he's going to be joining us in the end of the month. He's going to be on the show here. And he has some great stories about Hollywood, and some of the crazy. We're gonna get, obviously, we'll talk about UFOs and some of his experience there, but more so, he's gonna talk about the child molestation that went on, and he was a childhood star, so he grew up in it. He's gonna talk about the Satanism that goes on in Hollywood and, in mainstream media. And he's going to lay it out there. It's going to be an interesting show. I think that one will probably get us taken off the air because he's going to name, well, I don't know if he's going to name names, but he's going to explain, this is a guy who's been there. He grew up in it. He understands it. He's seen it firsthand. I don't know if he's experienced it firsthand, but he's seen it firsthand. And we're going to, we're going to expose some things here at the end of the month, and we're going to put his page up here in this weekend. Actually, we're scheduled to get all that back and get posted on our guest page, and stuff. So that's going to be interesting. So it doesn't shock me. Doesn't shock me at all. I mean, the devil's all over the place. I mean, he's just not sitting there, bugging housewives. I mean, you think about it. Where else, he wants to be in places of authority and prominence.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just,
Yeah.
Come on. I mean, and last thing, if a book like yours, I wouldn't want, but if I was, Satan, I would want one of my agents to kind of keep away, a book such as yours from the mainstream, because it does open eyes.
It was crazy to kind of watch how the responses trickled in, and it was like, really, that just some of the excuses that even my agent was like, I don't even know what to make of this.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah. Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and you hear about that. I mean, it's not like you hit them dry. I mean, they knew who you were. They knew your quality of work before. I mean, I can understand if you're a nobody and stuff, but the fact that she spoke gibberish, I think, like you said, that there you go, that speaks volumes right there.
Yeah. And I mean, and he actually put that down in the email to my agent. I'm like, oh my.
Wow. Did you tell him? Did you say, hey, look, you might want to find another employer?
Yeah. You might want to, I don't know, just editors switch companies so often anyway.
Yeah. It is
think of me when you go.
It is a pretty crazy business, right? The whole book business,
yes.
Yeah. See, that's the thing too.
It really is.
And I guess maybe my motivation is not good enough because there's a couple, short stories and science fiction stories that I would love to do. And I've started to write them. I get to like the 24th page, and then I just stop. And, my fear, or not, it's fear, let's call it what it is that I'll get this thing done. I'll get my book written, and then I'll give it to an agent. And he'll be like, or give it to whoever, and they'll be like, are you really? A 3-year-old wrote this. And insult me that way.
Let me put your mind to rest.
Sure.
Everyone's first book is that way.
Okay. Not you.
The first 3 things you write are complete crap, no matter who you are. It's after you finish the 3rd book or novella or short story or whatever that you actually have an understanding of your craft and you start to become publishable.
Gotcha.
Last year I read the first book I ever wrote, which has not been published. And then I called and I actually personally apologized to everyone I ever made read it. I said, I'm sorry, I thought it was good at the time. I was a moron. I think I've made up to it. You made it up to you since then, but hey,
Yeah.
And that's just how it goes.
Okay.
You only get good at this by practicing and doing it multiple times.
Yeah, it's like anything else. And what I that's encouraging, but it's discouraging because my story is such a great story, and you just shot it down. And,
Well, you know what? Then write a different story first.
Yeah, that's right. Take that one and put it in the back. Yeah, because I think. Go ahead.
Yeah, save the one you're really, really hoping to make something of until you've gotten some practice getting a couple other out of the way.
Yeah. See, my thing was I was just going to hire a ghostwriter and just say, here, write it.
A lot of people do.
I know. Oh, I know. I've, in the former life, I've interviewed a few who I thought were the authors of the book, and it was pretty obvious that they didn't author their. I mean, the ideas were there, but you can tell because you're reading them pages and you're reading. It's like they didn't have they didn't even go back and read their own book, and you're quoting them things, and they're like, huh, what? Did I say that? I actually had a guy. I got to find that. It was a political book. Now I was interviewing this gentleman, and he actually said on the air, he was like, I didn't say that. And I'm looking at it in his book, and I'm like, yeah, it's on this page right here. And it was obviously ghost written.
That's bad.
Ghost written, yeah, it's horrible. So it happens. It happens. So as we start to wind down here, is there anything you would like to talk about? Did I miss anything? Go ahead. This is a conversation. That's the thing.
It is.
People don't
You're
realize
really good at it
this
too.
is thank you. This is a conversation. I tell people, think of it, you come over, we have a great dinner, and now we moved on from the dinner and we're going into the parlor. We got the fire crackling and, nice and warm. We grab the blankets and, pour ourselves a stiff one and sit back, and now we have a conversation, right? So it's
right. Although now I'm irritated that I didn't actually get the dinner.
You're close enough. I think we can arrange that. I think we can get together. So,
awesome. See, now I feel better.
Yeah, I will definitely. We'll exchange information after the show, and we do live here in Nature's Coast. So if you ever want to see a part of Florida that's just incredible, I mean, I love. We go over to the other side to Daytona and Ormond Beach and stuff. I love it. I really do. But when you live in Chicago as long as we have, it's kind of like this is a lot of people without the city, and
right.
Florida is one of those states, as you probably already know. You can, if you don't like Florida, drive a few hundred miles. It will change. It's kind of like the weather in Chicago. Wait a few minutes and it will change. So,
it'll change.
Yeah,
that's true.
yeah. But we're on the
I did want to.
Go ahead.
Yeah, that would be cool. I did want to make sure to tell people. I think I said so earlier, but if you think you're under, any kind of demonic attack, the best thing you can do is stand up for yourself immediately. And, if you're of a Christian background, literally just say In the name of Jesus Christ, whose blood was shed on the cross for the forgiveness of our sins, I command you to get out. Invoke the blood. Say that I command you, making clear that it's you're the one saying it. Do it loud. Do it often. And here's the thing: even if you're in public place, whisper it, but just try to get it out there.
Sure.
And here's the thing: do it even if you're not sure, because there is no harm in saying that if nothing is happening. Whereas if something actually is happening and you keep quiet, a whole lot of harm can happen.
Absolutely.
So
Great advice.
Just err on the side of caution.
Yep.
And it's always good to, bless your house, bless your car, bless your family members and your pets. There's no harm that comes from that. There's only, peace of mind and, positive things.
Yeah.
So always err on the side of caution, because you don't want to let something like that go unchecked.
Yeah. I mean, what do you say?
That's what I try to tell people.
No, awesome. But what do you, a lot of people won't do that. I'm going to do it. I don't care. I mean, my neighbors think I'm crazy anyways. They'll just think I'm having another episode. Because I'm gonna do it. Because it doesn't matter, and especially like you said, is that when you are in a position that you can influence people and stuff. I think it's very important. That's always been my fear, and we talked about that. Like I said, Art Bell, we were talking about that last night. Love the man, love the shows, miss him. I wish he would come back. I don't know how I'm going to be able to listen to him and do this at the same time, but regardless, the fact of the matter is that when we were talking about him, we noticed there's several of us noticed that he went dark. I mean, a lot of his shows at the end there were very, very dark. When he rebooted, it was different, but at the end of the Coast to Coast, before the other gentleman took it over, and then George took it over, it was a really dark show, and that's always been my fear when I delve into stuff like this. What doors am I opening? So that's good to know.
The important thing is to remember to close them behind you.
Yeah.
And also remember to laugh more about it. I mean, it's funny. It's a very scary subject, and one of the things I try to do in my book is inject a lot of humor, because you need that. And even as a writer, that if you're going to scare the tar out of somebody, you have to put a humor break in there before you keep scaring them more. Otherwise, they get desensitized.
Yeah.
But it really is true that laughter robs the scary things of power. Power over you, power to manipulate you and make you afraid. That's why I've learned that, I no longer get scratched anymore, because the last time I got scratched really well, I just started laughing, and I'm like, really?
Yeah. Couldn't you have gone a little bit higher over?
Scratch.
Yeah, over here to the shoulder blade.
Yeah, I mean, exactly. I need a Band-Aid. Oh, boo-hoo!
Yeah.
And I laughed out loud. And the moment I heard myself laughing out loud, it was like I could literally feel the hold that fear had on me being broken.
Gotcha.
So like I say, if you put up the cross and it gets flipped upside down, just stand there and laugh hysterically and say, I thought so, and that's lame.
Yeah. I'd be like, go get the camera. I want to post this. Go get the camera. Go get the camera. This is going to be a great show. Exclusive.
Take a picture.
Yeah. Actually, what I had to do is just put a 24/7 well, it's in my bedroom, so no, that probably would, you want to talk about making you laugh or make you cringe. So I'm at peace now, because I will tell you, there is more than enough laughter in the Norton household. We do stupid stuff and we laugh about it. I mean, I'm always cracking jokes and doing stupid stuff and entertaining. And I think that's probably why we love the shows. Sandy and I love those types of shows where the couples are always, cutting up and stuff. Maybe that's our protection and our hedge against possible possession and everything. So, Debbie,
it certainly helps you.
I thoroughly enjoyed it. I knew it was going to be a great show. I knew we were going to have a great conversation, and I like I said, my many thanks, and I'll reach out to you after the show and everything, and maybe we'll hook up. I'm down in your neck of the woods quite a bit, actually, and stuff.
Excellent.
So All right.
Well, I've had so much fun. Thank you for having me on.
Oh, very, very much so. And then when you tell George, when you see George again, when you see him in what, another 3 years, tell him about me.
Yeah, probably. I will.
I hope
I'll say,
in
hey,
3 years he
I met someone
knows about me. That's the goal, right? I hope in 3 years that George
That is the
Nori and
goal.
those guys know about me. They'll be like, oh yeah, oh yeah. And one of the things I do want to clear up is that a lot of people think we're in competition with each other. I don't. I'm, with Art Bell and Heather and all those guys, I wish them the best of luck because it's all about knowledge and getting, there's a lot of people in the world. And so you can't, not one person can speak to all of them. And, so there's more than enough room for all of us to come together and get these messages out and do the things that we need to do. So, yeah, I'm not envious or not, how do you say, competitive at all with them. People were shocked. They saw I'm learning Twitter. So I actually tweeted a message to Heather and said, hey, where have you been? I've noticed your shows she replaced Art, when he rebooted. And I'm like, Heather, where are you at? And everybody's like calling back. They said, she's your competition. What do you care? And it's like, no, I don't know. I enjoyed listening to her. I got my own show, but I'll listen to Heather and John B and those guys, when I have time, when I'm not doing my own thing. So,
Yeah.
but, all right, I'll be in touch and I thoroughly appreciate it. And I think now that I have your name completely burned into my brain and stuff. Good night. Good night. There you go. What a great show. Debbie Viguié joining us here. I'm going to turn this music down a little bit. What a show. Actually, you know what? Let me just turn it off. How about that? I have the power of the button. I have the power of the button. But another great show. If you'd like to get out and, I don't need to say, if you'd like to find out who Debbie is and stuff, you don't know who she is. You need to learn. Beth, New York Times Bestselling author, writer of the Wicked series, Battlefield Victory, just a plethora of books as she went through. Psalms 23. I'm actually going to get those series. I'm going to be count number one. If you're still listening, I'm going to be count number one. I'll start with number one and then we'll go from there. But what a just great show. Not that dark, learned a lot. I think that was very important. I think that we needed to have a little bit of humor to it and stuff. It's a very serious topic, demonology and exorcism. Obviously you're dealing with one's soul, one's future, one's ultimate future. And, that's serious stuff, but enjoyed it. Had a great conversation. Look forward to talking with her offline, but enough of that. Let's get back to the matter at hand. If you'd like to give us a call, we do have the lines are still open. If you'd like to call in, if you got something to talk about, give us a call at 312-588-1200. I wish you'd talk about the show, tonight's show, but if there's anything else you guys want to talk about, I'm here for a few more minutes. And I know that you guys are probably going to tag team me and try to keep me up for 2 more hours and stuff. If that's what you want to do, then go ahead. I'm here. Like I said, my listeners come first. But if you'd like to purchase or if you're interested in getting one of Debbie's books, you can get that if you go to www.themidnightocean. And you can actually drop the www. I got to stop doing that, but it's themidnightocean.com. Click on the guest page, go to Debbie Viguié, and it's spelled Viguie. Go to her page, and we have a link to Amazon with her name and with her most current books. There are a lot more books. We didn't have enough space, actually, for her. She, as you said, she's a pretty prolific writer, has over 4 dozen books that she's written. Successful writer. And so get out there and, purchase her books. Great reads. Like I said, I am going to read there's a couple of books, obviously the Battlefield Victory, and then I'm going to read the Wicked series, which is catered towards I would say, the young adult. I'm definitely going to read those. It's going to be interesting. So with that being said, we are running down the time here. If you'd like to give us a call at 312-588-1200. I'm here until the clock ticks. The other thing too is I want to let everybody know we have started a new thing here at the Midnight Ocean. Love to hear from you. If you have a story, if you go to our webpage, if you go about center to the page, you will see submit your stories. We will read your stories online. We're not going to charge you to read your stories. That's not what we're going to do. But we will read your stories. We will tell your stories. And if you want to call in and discuss them, we would be glad to discuss those stories with you. And we did that because of a great suggestion from Possum 1010 in the chat room yesterday. And the other thing too is that we've realized a lot of people have stories to tell, but they just don't know how to tell them, right? Or they're embarrassed, they're ashamed, or whatever reason. And if you heard tonight, as we were talking with Debbie, she said it's also very important too that you get that story out there. It's important that you share those experiences with other people and let them know what's going on. More importantly, if you got things moving around your house, crosses turning upside down, or changes of mood and behavior and stuff, you got to get help. And the best way to do that is you have to share those experiences, or you people that have had those experiences need to share those experiences, share how you solved them and how it worked for you, and then maybe the next person that runs into that can read and understand, and then they can learn from it and be protected. So it's all about sharing. And as Debbie mentioned too, is that the devil wants to keep you from your Savior, but he also wants to make sure that you don't introduce anybody else to your Savior, and that's key. So even though you say, well, I'm saved, I don't have to worry about this, or I believe I know where I'm going, whatever term or whatever mindset you're into, it is your responsibility to make sure that he's not keeping you from being a good advocate for him, a good witness, a good testimony. And I've always said that. I'm not bashful about my life. It's who I am. The experiences that I've done, the things that that I've experienced, it makes up who I am. And if you learn anything from me, it's a testimony. It means that you can go through some very dark moments. You can wake up and have the devil himself on your lap telling you that he owns your soul and you will never escape him. It's all lies. It's all lies. There is a way to escape. And I hope that we've given you the information you need to do that. By all means, though, please seek out professional help. Ask your religious leaders. Test the waters first. And worst case scenario, if you need help with anything, you can always reach out to me here at the midnightocean.com. Go to the contact us. There's an email link to me. I'll put you in touch with the right people. I will. If you're watching us on Facebook, YouTube, or actually watching us on YouTube, you don't watch us on Facebook, but on YouTube, make sure that you subscribe. You hit the sub button. We'd like to hit 100 this month. That would be a great goal. I think it's achievable. Also, tell your friends, your family about us. Share our audio, our videos. We do have an archive section down below right after the show. Not only do you have a live, but it goes to archive with the RSS feed, so you can put that on your podcast and listen to all of our shows. If you haven't done so yet, go back and listen to all of our shows. As you're driving from town to town or riding on the airplane, doing whatever. We've had just phenomenal guests. I would tell you if his show was sketchy, but I can tell you that all of our guests have been great shows. You know, all of our guests. We talked about Bible prophecy last night. That was an outstanding show. So get out there and, participate, be a part of it. If you're on Facebook, make sure you like us on Facebook. Also, make sure you join the Midnight Listeners, because there is going to be a time where we're going to grow the show to where you're going to want to call in and you're not going to be able to get through. It's coming. It doesn't take that many listeners. I mean, when I was running the other show, I can tell you it's coming. So the best way to know that you're going to be able to get through is if you're a Midnight Listener, you will be given a private number that you can call into. And of course, we reserve certain lines for those. We also, from a Midnight Listener, we do have the Midnight Pirate group, which is kind of an exclusive group, which will have a dedicated number. Well, those are the Midnight Pirate group. So a lot of people ask what those are. The Midnight Pirate group is a group of listeners who help promote the show, who help us get the word out, who help us grow the show. And we're going to be going through that group here shortly. Like anything else, we brought people in and they didn't help. I mean, these are kind of like the moderators. Think of it that way. So if you'd like to become a Midnight Pirate, the best way to do it, obviously, is, start small and then we'll do it. Because part of that too is that we are going to be giving out swag, shirts, hats, things of that nature. And they're going to go to the Pirates and they're going to use those to do it. If you are traveling, let me know across this country. If you're traveling, let me know. I got some things for you, and I ask that you, and I'll even help you with your gas money. Check that out. How nice is that? As you're traveling across, because there's a huge audience out there in the trucking late night community, especially in the late night community. Truck drivers, factory workers, things of that nature. We got some things that we can use to give you to help promote our show. If you work at a factory, work late night, hospital, EMS, fire department, police department, anything like that, let us know. And we got some things that we can send you to help promote the show, because, those are the listeners that we typically cater to. So once again, it has been a great evening. I have thoroughly enjoyed the conversations with Debbie Viguié. Get out, get her books. But more importantly, stay in touch. Stay in touch. Hopefully we'll see you guys tomorrow in the chat room. But with that being said, all I've got to say is God bless you. May He keep you safe. Keep your family safe. And we will talk tomorrow. Tomorrow's show is going to be, it's going to be fun. They're all fun. We're actually going to have musician Ed Roman is going to be joining us. Kind of kooky guy. We got some of his music out there. I've got a sinking suspicion, as I thought I was going to sign off, right? Just doing some house cleaning. I've got a sinking suspicion that Ed has some experience in the paranormal community. If you listen to some of his music, it's pretty interesting stuff. So we're going to have Ed on, wrap up the week and everything, but look forward to it. And like I said, God bless you. May He keep you safe, your family safe. And until we talk again tomorrow.